Microsoft's about to roll out a pretty big change to internet access in Azure on March 31st. At least that's what they're saying. And if you're running virtual machines in Azure, you definitely don't want this catching you off guard. So let's make sure this update doesn't break internet access for your VMs. Hey everyone, I'm Travis and welcome back to the channel. Microsoft is changing how virtual machines inside an Azure virtual network get out to the internet starting March 31st, 2026. We're going to walk through exactly what's changing and what you need to do to get ready. Before we jump in, please hit like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Also check out my courses at udemy.com, and a big shout out to all my channel members. Your support means a lot. All right, let's get back to it. Up until March 31st, whenever you spin up a virtual machine inside a new virtual network in Azure, it automatically gets internet access by default. Microsoft provides a flowchart that breaks down how that works. The link's below if you want to dig into it. The last step in that flow, the one highlighted in yellow, is called default outbound access. If nothing else in the network configuration takes precedence, the VM just uses default outbound access to get out to the internet. But here's the problem. Default outbound access uses a Microsoft managed IP, one that can change and you don't have any control over. Plus, a lot of organizations want to restrict outbound internet access completely, or at least make sure all traffic goes through a monitored or managed firewall. That's what this change will address. So that's what Microsoft is disabling. Once we hit the end of March, default outbound access is gone for new virtual networks. Any new network you create will need an explicit intentional path to the internet. Now, this won't affect anything you already have running. Existing VMs and existing virtual networks won't lose internet access. But any VM attached to a new virtual network after this change takes place will not have default outbound access. Here's what that actually looks like. Every new subnet you create will have the private subnet setting turned on by default. That's the switch that disables default outbound access. When that's set, Azure won't automatically provide a way out to the internet. You need to add one. A NAT gateway is a common solution, but you can use an NVA, a firewall, a public IP directly on the VM, or even a load balancer. If you want to learn more, check out my earlier videos. I've covered NAT gateways and internet access in detail. So what should you be doing right now? Well, since existing subnets and VMs aren't impacted, your current workload is safe. But if you're using automation or templates, Terraform, Bicep, ARM, whatever, and they create new virtual networks as part of the deployment, make sure those networks include an explicit outbound path going forward. Now, technically, you can uncheck the private subnet box after March 31st, but Microsoft doesn't recommend it. In fact, they want everyone to start transitioning existing virtual networks to a private subnet. And as a reminder, before making that transition, you'll want an explicit outbound path for the network. The switch itself is simple, just check the box to enable private subnets. So do you think this change will really happen this time? Honestly, I think it will. And now you're ready for it. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching.